What's going on, YouTube? Glad you guys were able to make it with us once again for that.
Shit, bro, go.
Yes. Now, this story is a very tragic story as far as what we're dealing with in this country. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to let this clip run, and then we're going to get back to you.
Disturbing scenes on our streets, triggering calls to the WAVE troubleshooters alleging patient dumping by local hospitals. Two different $2 million plus patient dumping jury verdicts recently in Kentucky caught our eye. But what really got our attention was where calls to our newsroom led us when we began following up on the complaints. This story begins December 1st at 5 p.m. with a phone call to our newsroom from a horrified University Hospital employee claiming security had just wheeled a woman all the way out to the corner of Hancock and Ali, just off hospital property, dumped the elderly woman out of the wheelchair on the sidewalk, and left. Minutes later, we shot video of her, still in a soiled hospital gown and slippers, breathing hard under a blanket placed over her in 36-degree weather, her stuff in a bag next to her. The employee claimed she sees this a lot. So I started watching, and on December 16th at 7 p.m., 35 degrees outside, I record 3 security guards surrounding an elderly woman with a walker, slowly escorting her out of the emergency room. She can't move fast. It takes several minutes to make it all the way to the same corner of Hancock and Ali. After they have her across the street, off the hospital property, the security guards turn around and go back. When they clear, I catch up to her, and she says she can't breathe.
They told me that I couldn't stay on the premises. Amen.
Were you in there as a patient?
Well, I needed to be a patient because I'm sick.
What's wrong with you?
I've got COPD. I got diabetes.
So they wouldn't even treat you?
The doctor talked to me for 1 minute.
And they told you what?
That I had to leave.
What reason did he give you?
He didn't give me a reason.
She tells me she's homeless.
I've got to go because I'm hurting. I'm in pain.
I was in a car crash, and it completely shattered my hip and pelvis. Right here, I got like 30-something screws.
Matthew Hauber and his mother claim a similar story. They met us in front of Wayside Mission in the spot where they say he was dumped in October.
Anywhere. And they said, well, we can't find a rehab right now.
Linda Hauber said when Norton Hospital told her they had a room lined up for Matthew at Wayside, she checked it out.
I called Wayside Christian Mission and just to confirm, and they said no. They said we can't do that. We can't. You know, they have beds and they help them find jobs and stuff, but we don't take medically needy people. We don't do that. And
then she says she had a conference call with the hospital staff.
the social worker said, we're going to take him to a shelter. And I said, which one? And they said, Wayside Christian Mission. And I said, well, I know that's not true because I called them and they don't take him. And then the lady said, the social worker said, well, that's history. Let's think of something else.
Hauber says the next day, her son was unloaded from a transport vehicle on the curb in the rain on Jackson Street in front of Wayside.
I thought they've dumped my garbage. I have to put out to the curb. That's how they dumped my son, like garbage.
Linda Hauber said she was in no shape to care for him at home, and she died after this interview.
They put all their stuff on the sidewalk over there, or they dump them off over here on the sidewalk and get back in that vehicle and get out here just as fast as they can.
Wayside staffer Perry Lane helped Matthew out of the rain and says he witnesses the same kind of thing dozens of times per year from hospitals as far away as eastern Kentucky. He says they're often lied to about the medical treatment they'll receive at the shelter.
What's the worst physical shape you've seen somebody in who was dumped? This guy here was pretty bad.
Paralyzed. People that can't walk, that are totally relied on a wheelchair. Take them out, put them in the wheelchair, throw all their stuff on the and take off.
Wayside's Chief Operating Officer Nina Mosley tells me it's not uncommon. She says they're not trained medically, and sometimes they take patients right back to the hospitals.
How can you dump people? These are human beings. How can you just dump them and leave them? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's unhuman, man.
We detailed these incidents with dates and times to both Norton and University hospitals. Norton Healthcare Senior Vice President Renee Murphy responded in an email that says, in order to safeguard the privacy of patients and in compliance with HIPAA, we are not permitted to discuss specifics regarding a patient's case. There are several details to this case that may not have been communicated to you by the family. As Mr. Hauber has not signed a HIPAA release of information form, we will not be able to share those details with you. University Hospital Public Relations Director David MacArthur replied, they appear to be working on behalf of U of L Hospital. Unfortunately, the images that were provided by WAVE do not reveal enough information to track down additional details or identify whether the individuals on either day sought care from any of our team.
Take the hospital's obligations to treat emergency patients very, very seriously.
Attorney Hans Poppe knows that firsthand. He won a $2.3 million patient dumping verdict, most of that in punitive damages, after his client, who was coming to a Lexington hospital by ambulance with a cardiac emergency, was turned away and directed to another hospital.
Juries don't like to punish hospitals.
There aren't many verdicts in Kentucky history favoring plaintiffs in alleged patient dumping cases, but this one is interesting. A $1.5 million verdict awarded in Fayette County to a difficult patient with a history of ER visits, dumped by a hospital, rolled outside in a wheelchair with taxi fare, and hours later, the man was dead of an untreated ulcer. After being reversed on appeal, another jury socked the hospital for $1.45 million.
So what that tells us is if a jury hears a case and they believe that there has been an EMTALA violation where a patient has been dumped or abandoned by the hospital, they really get upset.
Dude, like, I'm worthless, man. We're throwaway. We're garbage, you know?
Now, I was contacted this week by a police officer who worked off-duty at University Hospital who says she emailed U of L Health CEO Tom Miller on March 1st about this issue and what she was witnessing, and she says she was then informed she would no longer be working there. I asked U of L about that. They say the officer was concerned about the same things they are, and they're collaborating to increase community resources for the at-risk populations. As for being let go after her email, U of L would only say that she was employed by a third-party security service.
Bruh, man, this is so sad on so many different levels.
Yeah.
You know,
It's disgusting.
Yes.
It's not even just sad. It's just disgusting.
yeah,
You know, this is how America treats its own.
yeah.
You
Land
know?
of the free, though, right?
Well, it's supposed to be.
Right.
You know,
But
I think
that
that
ain't free.
No, ain't shit free. You know, because obviously medical care isn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? We talking about homeless people because they don't have insurance.
Mm-hmm.
They dumping them off. You know what I'm saying? To other clinics, hospitals, or whatnot, or even just out in the street.
On the street.
You know, how can you do that? You know what I mean? I'm telling you, this is the country that we live in.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's a lot of people here that don't have insurance.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that have died because they didn't have the medication, the proper medication to save their life or to
Right.
keep them going, whatever the case was, because they didn't have any insurance. They were discarded, just like they was a piece of trash.
Right.
You know, and it's sad, man. Story real quick. I've been in remission for cancer over 10 years or whatever.
Thank God.
Colon cancer, 3rd stage. And thank God. You know what I mean, for what I do, you know, and every day. But you know, I got the best treatment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had great insurance through my job.
Yeah.
And so I got A1 treatment. I got the best, you know what I mean? Because it was because I had the good insurance where it could pay for all the treatments and everything that they were doing for me, the radiation, the chemo, you know what I'm saying, the visits to my oncologist, you know what I'm saying? It just, my insurance paid for that. So yeah, I got the best treatment. But I've talked to people, you know, once you've had cancer or any type of life-threatening disease that you actually live through it, it changes your life a little bit. You know what I mean? What you did for me. I looked at things a little bit different, a lot different, after almost losing my life to cancer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've talked to a lot of cancer people that had cancer at the time or were in remission at the time, after having cancer, whatever the case. But I've talked to people and I've seen people that had the same colon cancer that I had or whatnot. But because in the colon cancer, in the cancer world, okay, colon cancer is supposed to be the easiest type of cancer to treat. Okay.
Okay.
Now I've known people that had the same thing I had, but because they didn't have insurance, they didn't get the type of care I got. They were actually being sent to clinics. Clinics are not equipped to treat cancer patients.
No.
They don't even have equipment and stuff for it or whatever the case was.
Right.
I don't even know what they were doing for them. Okay, but they died. Okay, because they couldn't afford the medicine and the treatments to kill the cancer cells or whatnot, that the bad cancer cells, which have been the chemotherapy or whatever. But they died behind that. See, the thing is, Mo, if you have, I don't care what it is, if it's life-threatening, and I don't care how easy it is to treat colon cancer, if it's not treated, you die. It's just that. It's cancer and it spreads, all right? And so if you don't have the resources to get the chemo and the radiation to try to shrink, whatever you have in you, okay? The mass is usually a mass or whatnot, and they have to shrink that with the radiation before they even do surgery and all this stuff, whatever the case is. And the chemo, kind of helps with, it kills the bad cells, but it kills good ones too. That they failed to tell you that part. But anyway, if you don't have the insurance to cover that type of stuff, unless you find another way, maybe a holistic way, where a natural way where you probably can get rid of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Dr. Sebi. I know he's not here any longer, but this man had the formula, man.
Yeah.
On a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? I do believe that you can get rid of natural diseases and stuff like that, just doing natural remedies, you know what I'm saying? Yes. I do believe that.
Definitely.
And I think actually the pharmacy companies know about it, and you know what I mean, but they want to put a lid on that because they wouldn't get any money, you know what I'm saying?
Big money.
Right, you know what I mean? So a lot of people I think have been kind of dumbed down, behind holistic, knowing holistic methods to treat certain diseases. So
yes.
Yeah.
This is all knowledge that we had prior to being brought over here. Yeah. They had knowledge. Matter of fact, all dark people of all over the world, Asia, Australia with the indigenous people there, Africa, the native people of this land, Mexico, all over the world, they all had their own remedies.
Right.
But then, this entity, the devil, comes in and takes all that knowledge away. So yeah, the devil does have that knowledge, but has given us something else to take. So I do agree with you on that one, bro.
Well, you know what, man, and I'm gonna tell you, you even got, because there are countries with free healthcare.
Yes.
Some of these countries are not as big as the United States, but we can't have free healthcare. Okay. Universal health care, all right? You got people, Canada is one of them that has universal health care for their citizens of Canada, okay?
Yes.
If you are a citizen of Canada, you have free health care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Mexico as well.
And you don't have to be a citizen. If you're up there, say you up there in Canada, you visiting, something happened to you, you go to the hospital, they treat you. You don't have to be a citizen.
Well,
People get their medication up there too.
right, but like people, let's say they stay like in Detroit or something like that. You know what I mean? Which is not far from Canada or whatever the case is. I've actually talked to a couple people that said that that actually lived up that way. That said that they had to have like an ID for Canada though to prove that they were a resident, because what they were doing, they couldn't afford health care here. So they would go for their doctor visits, pick up their medication in Canada, but they couldn't do it as a U.S. citizen.
Ain't that a
They had to have a place of residence, establish that, and get an ID card, or some type of citizenship with Canada. Or I don't know if it's legit or not. It might be fake. I don't know. I don't want to put all the secrets out there. But yeah, people will go over there because the hospitals in Detroit and in Michigan ain't no different from the hospitals in Louisville.
Yes.
If you ain't got that insurance, they gonna refer you to somebody else, make you somebody else's problem.
That's right.
Like they was doing with these. They were referring these other patients to places that didn't even do that type of work, man. They weren't even hospitals, man. They weren't even hospitals.
Right. And saying we can't take people who have these medical conditions.
Right, because we're not a hospital.
Right. But then you got this person on the other line saying, well, yeah, this is where we'll take them to. No.
Right. But you know what I mean? You just dumping them off.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to deal with it. Or it's not our problem. Well, my thing is, the hospital is supposed to be a place of healing. Okay.
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to be a place of healing. When you get hurt, you go there to get fixed up, heal up, all right? Now, you're talking about, and this is just the vibe, I'm not getting that vibe from these hospitals anymore. It's like, if you don't have this insurance, well, we're not gonna mess with you. Well, I mean, everybody has a right as American citizen in this country to have some type of medical help.
Yeah.
Regardless if they working or not, if they got insurance or not.
Right.
And that's what's messed up with the United States right now.
Yeah.
The United States sit up there, they put this big facade up like they're the biggest, best country. We're actually one of the worst countries in the world. And I hate to say it, but it needs to be said.
Yeah.
Because there's too much stuff going on out here that the government is doing. And they're not just walking over black people. They're walking over white people, Asian people, whoever, everybody, Hispanics. Everybody, there ain't nobody catching no break unless you got money.
That's right.
That's what it's based down to. You got money, you can afford services,
Yes.
and you'll get them. If you can't afford services, throw you out in the gutter and let the dogs eat your body. You feel me? Stray dogs, and that's just real stuff. But that's not the country that the United States portrayed to be, but that's what we are. That's what it is.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
It's bad. You know what I'm saying? I think even in Cuba they got free health care. I want to say for there. I want to say Cuba too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and we talking about a third world country.
Yeah.
So what's America's problem? It's just so much stuff that's going on here, Mo, that it's like, it's all lies. And you just don't know what to believe nowadays. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff like this, if I seen that, I would have never believed it. If I was there physically looking at it, I wouldn't have believed it because I'd have been like, that's not what they do here. Oh, yes, they do. So seeing is believing, fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just, it's dog eat dog world, man.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of want to put that out. I know I kind of overtalk, but I'm kind of passionate about it because what if that was our grandmama or something like that? Well, she wouldn't even be out there. No, she gonna be with us. You know what I'm saying? One of us gonna grab her, have her, whatnot.
Yeah.
But somebody, they had that lady they had on the curb, man.
Yeah, that's somebody's mama.
This is grandmama.
Yeah, that's somebody's
You know what I'm saying?
sister, somebody's, daughter, come on.
And they said she soiled herself. That means she used the bathroom. She defecated in that gown, man. So she laying on that cold concrete. It's 32 degrees out there, man, with a thin hospital gown gown on, smelling like doo-doo. And don't nobody care. You just threw her out of the hospital, a place that you supposed to feel safe at. I don't know, man. Just world going to hell in a handbasket, bro.
Hey,
You know?
well, shout out to all the young people out there that have dreams and aspirations to become somebody in life, to make change in life. You know, shout out to y'all because y'all are our future.
We depending on y'all, for real.
Yes, to change this situation for y'all next generation. So things like this don't happen no more.
Right.
So, but it's left in the youth's hands, and hopefully somebody with that type of need or that type of drive in their lives sees this video.
Hey, man, we just, all in all, man, we need to free the country from the Quaker Oats, man. Really.
Yeah.
We need to. We tired of looking at his face and listening to his old traditional ideas that don't work.
Right.
That were made for a certain set of people and not for everybody.
Factual.
You know, it ain't even just stuff that's made for white people. White people are getting thrown out in the streets now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
definitely.
You ain't got no money or you do.
Yeah.
You got insurance or you don't.
Right. And for those of y'all that think that, you know what I'm saying, because you're white, you're privileged somehow, just take a look at West Virginia. I'm gonna throw up a few of them pictures so y'all can see how they think about y'all, really. It really is about this money thing. And they don't give a damn about the people. They don't give a damn
really don't.
about the people, man. So with that being said, you guys, go ahead, leave comments and let us know what you think about this story right here. Very touching story, to say the least. I hope this goes viral. But go ahead and leave your comments. Smash those likes, okay? And subscribe. Subscribe too. Please subscribe and share the content. Till next video, you all.
Peace.
Peace.